I had a quick question come in through the Chaos Wave group here, and it's a simple question. It is simply, what do you mean by Chaos Wave? Now, I know that I covered this in the live broadcast, Your Focus Creates Your Reality, the other night, but I'm also aware that there was some disruption during that broadcast, and I rather suspect the disruption may have occurred at pretty much the point that I was talking about this concept, Chaos Wave. So I'm going to just do a very quick video here just to explain what that means, what that's all about. So essentially, Chaos Wave is simply a metaphor. And it's a metaphor that relates to the nature of life. Now, I'm a big fan of some of the ideas of David Bohm, the physicist David Bohm, and he has a wonderful expression. He talks about the unfolding, the great unfolding of life. And he talks about the choices we get to make and how we participate in the unfolding of life. So that idea from David Bohm, that bit of thinking, is something that is quite an inspiration to me. It's quite an influence on me. So that's one aspect. Now, if you think about the unfolding of life, what does this mean? Well, there's a second idea which I often quote. You'll have heard me quote this before, no doubt, if you follow my stuff, which is that the world or life or whatever is not only more complex than you think, it's more complex than you can think. So while we experience the world, we conceive of the world in a particular way, in a kind of a blocky way, actually the world is unfolding moment by moment by moment. Life is unfolding moment by moment by moment, and it is infinitely rich in complexity, to the point where it resists what I would call linear micromanagement most of the time. Some things, when we're dealing with simple physical reality, we can use very linear thinking and have that work. For example, if I observe that when the wind blows the tree, it shakes and the apples fall down, I can conclude from that, if I shake the tree, maybe apples will fall down, and there's a good chance I'll be right. So when dealing with physical reality, we can use kind of linear cause and effect thinking. But much of what we're dealing with in everyday life is psychosocial reality. It's other human beings and other minds and how they interact and how they relate and what they create together. Look out at the world, people go, hey, 2016 was a crazy year. We all participated in making it a crazy year. Each and every one of us are part of the interconnected web of everything through which what unfolds. Now, some of it is quite distant to us in the web and we don't get to influence it that much. And some of it's close to us, what we do in our everyday lives. We get to influence this. But nonetheless, it's still infinitely complex. It's not any more complex than we think, it's more complex than we can think. So when engaging with the world, I tend to look at it as being something to engage with in a switched on and aware way, and to influence and create with, to co-create with, rather than something to attempt to dominate or force to be a particular way, or wrestle with, or argue with, or try and linearly manage. And this is where the metaphor of the chaos wave comes in. Because a wave is a wave. When a surfer goes out and meets a wave, they meet the wave. They do not get to dictate how the wave is. They have no power in that sense. How the wave unfolds is how the wave unfolds, but they do get to choose how they meet the wave. They do get to choose how they engage the wave, and they do get to choose what they co-create with that wave in terms of the particular ride they create, the particular, I don't know what the surfing terminology is. I use this metaphor. I've never even surfed. That's the irony of it. But they get to co-create with the wave, the experience they create, the surf they create. You can watch a YouTube video of a surfer, and what you see them doing is co-creating something in real time with that wave. So for me, this is a metaphor for life, and I'm very interested, have been for years, in influence and how we optimize our influence in life and how we most effectively participate in shaping the unfolding of our lives in ways that bring us more of the things that we want and fewer of the things that we don't want. And across many years of exploration, what I've found is there's a sort of sweet spot, a light touch with life. Errol Flynn allegedly once was asked in an interview, the old swashbuckling actor Errol Flynn, how do you hold a sword? What's the correct way to hold a sword? And he said, well, you want to hold a sword like you want to hold a baby bird. Not so tightly that you would crush the life out of it, but not so loose as it would fly away. So there's this kind of middle way. And when we're looking at engaging with life, effectively creating with life, creating the kinds of outcomes we want, we need to be engaged enough. We need to be switched on enough, connected enough that we are sensitive to what needs to happen, but not holding on so tightly that we crush the life out of it and we stick ourselves and lock ourselves and inhibit ourselves from creatively flowing and participating. So this is why I use the metaphor of the chaos wave. Life is infinitely complex. Life is a chaos wave. What matters is how we meet it, how we co-create with it, how we surf it.